Listen, I hate to be the one to have to tell you this, but those people on the internet telling you to quit your 9 to 5, become some kind of influencer, travel the world, find yourself, take 6 months, disappear, come back a completely unrecognizable person, they're lying to you. Don't quit your job. See, what they not telling you is them dudes probably living at home with their parents. Minimal responsibility. And ladies, those ladies that seem to always be on vacation, always ordering the best of matchas, seemingly having no man, they selling pussy. Hate to put it like that, but somebody got to tell the truth. It's Everybody's Lying. I'm your host, Harvey Banks. And well, it looks like it's just me. So you stuck with me for a little bit. Let's get into it. Okay, so listen, I know it's getting harder and harder to decipher what's real and what's fake on the internet. And I'm talking about the humans right now. I'm not even talking about AI. I know that at 38 years old, there are two main things that I have learned over the past decade that I wish I knew earlier, because I could possibly be so much further along on my journey than I am now. But maybe that was just the price to pay for the lessons. But the good thing for you is I'm discounting that price today, right? Because I'm going to give you both of those things today. That way, you don't have to pay for these lessons in real life. Because that's one of the things I think that gets lost on the internet a lot is you hear the motivational quotes, you see the advertising for all the courses, and you see all these influencers telling you that like the life you want is just on the other side of manifestation. But what they don't tell you is that like those internet dreams are paid for in the real world. Like there's just no way around it. You have to have boots on the ground to make a lot of that shit work. And that's not a sexy story. That is not something that can easily manipulate you to either spend money or just believe and follow in this person and live vicariously through them. So it doesn't get pushed, but it's the real. So I want to have a real intimate conversation with you guys tonight. I'm not going to hold you. It's not going to be a lot of fluff. I got some real stories of my own personal mistakes that I've made, personal wins that I've got, and just things I learned along the way that I just want to share with you guys. So let's start here. The first thing, and possibly the most important thing that I wish I knew when I was 28 instead of just now grasping at 38, is that they lying. Don't quit that 9 to 5 job. See, the internet has villainized the 9 to 5 job. The internet makes it seem like if you have a corporate job, there's no way to live your actual true life and have a corporate job. And it's just not true at all. And when I say the internet, I don't want it to sound like I'm speaking from a place that I'm above that. Because I'm not, because that was me for the longest time. I've consumed just as much of that bullshit as anybody else. And even more embarrassingly, maybe, I've also spewed some of that bullshit to others, which that really kind of fucks with me at nighttime, just because you would think I would know better. But I kind of had a gift and a curse. So let me start here. I've always known how to get $1. So I've always had hustle. I've always had an intelligence, and I've always just had a knack for being able to make something happen financially. So some would say I was the perfect prey for, the internet scheme of, hey, you don't need a job. It's a million ways to get money out here, which there is. But the lesson that I was trying to skip, the hard truth of the matter is this. If you really want to make it, and whether making it is something in your career or just finding purpose and happiness, it takes, to be successful at something, it takes one of two things, sometimes both. The first thing is going to be resources or money. So like, don't forget that part of it. Resources or money. If you don't have the resources, you must have the money. So the basic idea of quitting your guaranteed 9 to 5 money to go out into something that you want to do, but takes money to do at the level in which you're going to need to do it to sustain yourself, it's kind of crazy, you know? And then as far as resources, they say your network is your net worth. It's another one of them internet terms that's not, it's not really false. It just sounds stupid, but it does make sense. Sometimes you can just kind of be right place, right time, or you can know people that have walked down the journey that you're trying to walk down, and they can sometimes give you free game. And the reason it's called free game, it's free to you. Somebody's paid the actual cost for that already, whether it be through mistakes, through learning, through actual money. It's free game for you. So that's a great resource if you got it, but a lot of us just don't really got resources like that. So we either had to come up with the capital or buy the lessons through mistakes, or time. Time is the other thing that it takes. If you have the time, you can build something. But once again, if you quit your 9 to 5, time then becomes your enemy and not your friend. Because no matter what, you still got bills you got to pay. You still have responsibilities. And that doesn't stop just because you're motivated to become this person that you think you're supposed to be. And you very well may supposed to be that person, and you very well may end up being that person. But you're not going to get to that point without either spending time or money. Fucking up your money from day one, that is literally going to make you have to, you're going to have to put double into that other asset, whether it be, resources or the time. So you don't want to do that. You want to set yourself up to give yourself options. And I never did that before. I have tried. Let me just go through some of the things that I've tried online, and I've tried like just to not have to have a 9 to 5. And y'all tell me if this makes sense. I made money on some of them too. So made it even more difficult to kind of see the overarching lesson in this while I was inside of it. I have done podcasting. I have flipped clothes. I have flipped books. I have done the Goodwill, just buy what I flipped printers before. That was kind of decently lucrative. I'm not going to lie to you. I have ordered cell phone cases from China and sold those at a high markup. I have drop shipped stuff. I have pretty much done everything. Real world wise, started a cleaning business, started a painting business, done a whole bunch of things to help friends, just kind of patch money here and there. And looking back at all of those times now, I believe that I was tricked into the grind of it, the hustle of it, into thinking that I was making progress on stuff when I wasn't. And now that I also did the gig economy, the DoorDash, the Uber Eats, the Uber, all of that shit. And so looking back now, I've done some of those things with pretty good success, but my time windows were so tight and the money aspect was so tight that I was just doing enough to barely survive. And when you're doing that, when you're just surviving, you're not really growing. You're not really becoming the person that you need to be. You're just simply running from the person that you're scared that you're running from the person that you're afraid that's out there that everyone thinks you're going to be. And that's the failure. You're running from the failure of it. And I can say I did that for a long time, man. Damn near 10 years. I have been literally hustling damn near daily just to try to survive. A year ago, I took a corporate position, and I've always had corporate skills. I've always had a pretty good, corporate resume. And so I got to the point where I was like, I actually went into this company and I was going to come in at a low level, pretty much like $20 an hour. I just needed money at the time. Like, my family's living in a hotel. I need the money. All this other shit's not working. Just give me some guaranteed money enough to, and even at the time, I'm still thinking, let me just do this and get this to make it enough to where I can then chase my dreams again. You know what I mean? I'll do this for a while, stack up a little bit of money, then I'll quit that and then refocus in on the things that I want to do. And went in for the interview for that, just to take that low level job. A different type of opportunity was presented after the interview. My expertise and my skills kind of matched a different role that they had, and I took that role instead. It was higher. I ended up excelling in that role and got offered a different role this year. And looking back now, I've been with this company for a little over a year. I love it. Love what I do. But even more, I love the paychecks. The steady paychecks have actually opened me up to give me the space again to ask myself, who am I? Who do I want to be? What do I want to build? Podcasting is probably, it's up there when it comes to just my overall passions in life, right? Creativity, creating products, creating things like that's I absolutely love it. But I can honestly say at least over the past 5 to 6 years, it had become a thing that I had needed to, like, I really need something to happen. I really need this podcast to blow up out of nowhere and let me make some money on it. Just little things like that, man. And I now know that I was operating not out of creativity, not out of passion. I was operating out of desperation. And I don't go back and listen or watch any of that because I can kind of tell. Like, looking back now with all the lessons that I have, I can tell that's not pure. That's not real. That's not authentic. And that's why shit like that don't break through. You can't do that. You can't manufacture timing. You know what I'm saying? It's just difficult to do. So knowing that I've been on podcasts before stating that, hey, I don't have a 9 to 5 and look at me. I make it. I figure out a way to make it work. This don't make sense. What they don't tell you is, being an entrepreneur, there are days that I literally made like $1,200 in a day. And then I could not make another dollar for the next 13, 14 days. It's just, there's a lot that goes into it. Some people are built for it, some are not. I still know that I am built for it. I just thought I knew all the fucking answers early, and I didn't. So I put myself in a lot of disadvantageous situations that I shouldn't have. And I'm trying to share this lesson with you guys so you don't do the same. Now, don't think this message is just for entrepreneurs or people wanting to be entrepreneurs or people wanting to be creatives or anything like that. If you got a career that you love passionately, continue to do that. Just know that the same rules that apply to the people that are chasing lofty dreams apply to you as well. Don't quit your 9 to 5. There are so many lessons to be learned in a corporation on somebody else's dime that you don't really get otherwise. I've learned so much about communication, collaboration, office politics. And some people look at office politics and say, hey, that's a bad thing. But inside of those office politics are conflict resolutions, and daily I have to make mental calculations on, is it worth it for me to prove my point, or is it worth it for me to be effective and get the job done? And I don't know that old me is making those mental calculations before I move, before I act. So it's taught me patience. It's taught me a whole bunch of things that I don't know that I would have got those lessons otherwise. So most importantly, I also feel like it hasn't cost me anything creativity wise. I think it's given me so much more space to create, so much more genuine joy and happiness, knowing that my family can sleep easy, knowing that daddy can pay the bills. And I got a during the toughest time for me and my wife, it was me, my wife, my daughter who's now 6, and my son who's now 3. But like, my daughter who is 6 has learned lessons that children shouldn't have to know about, like things and money and not having money, that it had built in certain insecurities in her into her when it comes to her things, because she lost her things. And it's like, just those types of lessons she should have never had to learn. But that's one of the real world cost that she had to pay for me. And you never want that as a father. I know this is all over the place, and I'm not going to edit this too much. And I know if y'all want to jump out, you can jump out. It's all good. This one might get a little deep for you, but yeah, that feeling of my daughter is paying the cost for my dreams, I didn't like that. And now having the experience of watching her just live in abundance, like, we're not rich or nothing crazy like that, but like the little things that we took for granted before, we don't really take for granted anymore. I sleep much better knowing that she sleeps much better in the room that she wanted in these things. You know what I'm saying? So like, that 9 to 5 gets a bad rap, but I think that you'll find that the work is in 9 to 5, and that's the cost for generally living the way you want to live. Because newsflash, even if you're not doing that 9 to 5 for somebody else, you really building that dream, you really building that company, you know, you really trying to become a influencer, you really trying to become a podcaster, it takes work. And usually those work hours are way longer than 9 to 5. So what do they say on the internet? Choose your heart. Okay, so the second thing that I wish I knew at 28 that I now know at 38 is to treat your relationships and your marriage like the weather, not like the stock market. The stock market, all over the place. There's not even any real controlling factors to whether a stock may go up or go down. You just really invest your money into this thing, and you just go along for the ride, whether that be up, down, right, left. You have zero control on that. And that's where it becomes super risky, and people either pull out too soon or stay in for too long and, you know, ride that thing to zero. I say treat that shit like the weather. And here's what I mean by that. The weather's the weather. We don't try to control it. We wake up every day, and if it's raining outside, we know we have to dress appropriately. We grab the umbrella. We still go to work. We still got to do the things we do. It just happens to be raining outside today. If it's snow and it's super cold, well, hey, it's December. We grab a coat. We dress appropriately for the weather. We go on about our lives. If it's holidays, we have a good time. We still function as who we are, irregardless of what the weather is going to do. Sunny days come along. We may acknowledge that, hey, it's a freaking beautiful day out today. I want to get out and enjoy this weather while we can, because we know that it's not always going to be sunny, you know? So you want to take advantage of those really good weather patterns when you can. And your relationship is pretty much the same way. I wish I wouldn't have tied my happiness and my production and just who I was as a person and how my days were going to go so much into my partner or my relationship or my marriage, simply because I could wake up and be having a great morning. I might have got a great night of sleep, but what if my partner is just like going through something, or just not even going through something serious? What if they just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or they've got things at work that's going to annoy them? I would have to like temper my joy, or, you know, I don't know how to say this without it sounding selfish, because it's not a selfish thing. I didn't want to look at my relationship based on factors that were outside of my control. I shouldn't have done that. I've done that a lot and didn't give my partners space to have bad days. Did not give my partners space to just have weird body days. Women have that, by the way, just bad body days. I don't know. I like the body. I hump on the body, but she's having a bad body day, right? Old me never gave space for that because I took all of those bad days. I took every rainy day as an indictment on me. Like, well, what could be wrong with you today? I'm having a great day. Why are you not having a great day? Oh, so you're just not happy with me. So now I'm not happy. Or she's unhappy now that I'm trying to just figure out what's going on, and not necessarily to help her have a better day, but to just see if it was my fault or not. And that's not really being a supportive partner. That's not really you're not holding up your side of the deal if you find yourself in that position. That's how I feel about that. And here's why I say that. I am now way more responsible, aware, and I take accountability for my own feelings and actions more, just so I can be a source of consistency for my wife. She needs to know that she can tell me, I don't know, I'm just having a bad day, or I'm having a bad body day. Now, my wife knows me enough to know that she's still probably going to get these jokes because that's me. But over time, I've been able to build that consistency of I am who I am, irregardless of the situation. She knows I'm not leaving. She knows that like I do have a deep understanding for how she's feeling, even if I make a joke about it. She does know that like I have this awareness that she's going through something that maybe I don't even know about. If that makes sense. It's women, so it doesn't really have to make sense because they do some. We're not gonna get into that. I've been so good today. I'm not gonna break off into that. Anyways, yeah, just being a good partner, man, means a lot. And you can't really do that if you're all over the place mentally, if you're letting every external factor control how you think, control, whether it's going to be a good day or not, control how productive you're going to be, control what kind of father you're going to be. I can't just walk around in a bad mood because like something I can't control doesn't feel good today. I've learned to kind of persevere through that. And when I do get into sometimes I slide back into that mindset of the stock market, not the weather. And like, I will find myself like just on this roller coaster of anger and joy. And yeah, it sounds like a drug almost, but really it comes down to it. But I'm able to catch myself now. And that comes, like I said, it took a decade to learn that. Like when I'm upset or when I'm bothered, even if I don't know what's going on, but you can feel something is off, I just assume it's a rainy day. You know what I'm saying? I don't see, and that extends to tie the first topic together. When I'm in the office, I work with a lot of women at the office, and I don't want to make it sound like women are just out here crazy emotional, but women out here crazy emotional sometimes. But we got men in the office that's, you can tell how they feeling by the looks on their faces just as much as the women, but I still kind of have to navigate that, right? So I go in there and I'm able to leave my personal shit, external shit out of there because I think weather, not stock market. So I go in and I expect rain sometimes. I expect thunder. I expect it to be cold. I expect the snow. And it helps me take the emotional roller coaster out of managing people, out of just simply communicating with people, and out of being empathetic with people, because I can approach things with the real sense of I'm attempting to understand what's going on. A lot of words, but that's really helped me a lot. Think of things like the weather, not like the stock market. The stock market, crypto, That shit is usually not real, but it's also very, very, we don't want to do that. The weather. I don't know when it's going to rain. They don't know when it's going to rain. They don't know when it's going to snow, but when we see it, we don't panic. We know what to do. We know how to adjust. That's how you should be in your personal relationships, because then you become an anchor for other people. And so as you're anchored for other people, that is where you will start to find your own self-worth, because it'll start to like reinforce these things within you. So now I can pretty much self-regulate myself, and I don't need my wife to regulate for me. I don't need my wife to bring me out of a bad mood. I don't need or blame my wife for, not recognizing that I might have been sad about something. I don't need that. I'm able to self-regulate myself just because it's a practice that I practice, and I practice it often. A man in control of his emotions is a dangerous man. I say man because I'm talking to the fellas, but ladies, same with you. If you can control your emotions, like you become a dangerous person, and not because like danger is in you could do bad, but danger is in you're always going to have the advantage because you're not looking to react. You're not looking to react to the latest drop or high. You're just looking to understand, looking to be aware. So that's the two lessons I wish I knew. I wish I knew that, man. I could have saved a lot of time. I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't just make money mistakes, man. I made mistakes with my health. You've only got so much capacity. So like focusing on your money, it's going to take away from something else. Focusing on your time, focusing on your health might take away from your money. It's just all this is connected, and you've only got, so much capacity. And I messed up. I didn't take care of my health, which is why now I'm trying to play catch up. I guess that can be a third one. Yo, health is the real wealth. You're 28 right now. You 25, you 30. Take care of your body. Get your body right, because I did not do that. And now I'm stuck playing catch up. I'm going to catch up because I'm him, right? But I wish I would have just known these things that I knew before. And the information was out there, but I wasn't trying to hear it because the internet lies were just so loud. They were just so loud. No one tells you take the slow route. Take the long road. That's the guaranteed road. That's a risky road over there. And it might work. But it also just might be a lie. Because this is the internet and everybody's lying.